sit back and watch the pre-game festivities.
Va Messi contra Loris y la Leo. Le va a pegar Messi, va Messi. Tira larga, recupera Nahuel Molina rápido para Alexis, rápido para Messi, viene Leo, toca rápido para Julián, y va Argentina, rapidísimo para Alexis, puede ser el Angelito, puede ser el Angelito, viene Alexis, se vio, va para Angelito. Argentina, está gritado, la deja para Messi, muy buena, buena pelota, muy buena, va para Lautaro, está para el arquero Messi, se envió largo lo que pasó, con la manita para el arquero, tapa el Dibu, una pelota sensacional, tapó el Dibu, Martínez era gol. Bueno, señoras y señores, hay penales, habrá penales para ver quién es el campeón del mundo. Le va a pegar Leo, Messi contra Loris, va Leo, Messi, gol argentino, lo viejo nomás, lo espera hasta el final, 1-1 hasta la serie, vamos. Va contra el Dibu, va Coman, tapa el arquero, tapa el Dibu, tranquilo, tapa el Dibu, tranquilo, vamos Paulo, Dybala, gol, Argentina, Paulo viejo nomás, Argentina 2, Francia 1, va Paredes, gol, un pasito más, Argentina 3-1, señoras y señores, ya Francia, si convierte Gonzalo, Argentina será campeón del mundo, va Montiel,
I doubt any words can be added to that moment. Many lived and died several lives that night at Lusail and Beer. It was great to see that, and for the players, of course, many still on the bench waiting for their opportunity. We'll see how that ends up playing out.
Yeah, just how many times have the players and all those in the stands watched those highlights? Still makes the hairs to stick up on your arm there, watching that highlights from what was an extraordinary World Cup final.
Being there, I mean, look, being there was one of the great experiences one could have ever had, but you see it time and time and time again, and it ends up being more and more surreal. It ends up being more and more, wow, you know, I happened to be there, of course, in that area. As the team's about to come onto the pitch, we see the Argentine national team jersey coming out. It's all part of this spectacle that's been established. And look, we have to give credit where credit is due. Everyone that's organized these matches, the logistics, the spectacle, keep in mind, there were some artists that were on stage prior to this. There will be some. I don't know, Peter, are you staying after the match to watch or no?
I believe so. It's more and more.
I believe so.
Just as it was on Thursday.
I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to be the only one there.
No. We'll be sticking around, I think, for the music after the game as well.
As, of course, it's not only time to look at what this team's going to be able to do, but also you're going to see them coming out with some T-shirts supporting the 2030 World Cup bid. And there's also a reason for it. There's a lot of little nuances to all of this. The Madre de Ciudades is one of the stadiums that Argentina wants to have the World Cup in 2030 played. Of course, it's Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, and Paraguay. And as of right now, it's them, Saudi Arabia, and, of course, the bid that was made, kind of unprecedented, between Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. It would be two confederations, basically, with that special bid over in Europe/Africa. As we will stop for a second for the singing of the two national anthems, and of course, you see that right there as the bid is full underway for South America. I'm going to step aside for the national anthems.
Y a continuación, nuestra canción patria, nuestro himno nacional, en las voces de los manceros, Héctor Garnica y Muriedis.
I remember a few people telling me before that games were won sometimes and lost sometimes at the anthem. I don't know if it will make a difference in this particular case, but when you have that type of effusive manner, the way some players were overcome, well, it lends you to kind of believe that. Peter, how is Argentina? How is Curacao lining up today? Let's start with whichever team you want first.
Argentina make 5 changes from that side that won against Panama. Martínez in goal. The back 4 of Montiel, Pezzella and Acuña, the 2 that come in. Otamendi keeps his place. The midfield 3, Fernández, McAllister keep their places but are joined by Giovani, Celso. And then in attack, Lautaro, Martínez and González come into the starting lineup to go alongside Lionel Messi.
Curacao with Eloy Rom, Julian Gary, Cucu Martina, Rashid Management, and then of course Cheryl Flores, Vernon Anita, Brantley Cuvas, Leandro Bacuna, Kenny Corre, and of course up top it'll be Rangelo Yanga and Juninho Bacuna. The starting 11 for Remco Vicentini. So much, it's kind of funny because I'm talking about Leandro Bacuna, of course, in the starting lineup today. Leandro Bacuna was being interviewed a few days ago, actually yesterday to be more precise, by an Argentine journalist, and he goes into his Instagram profile and puts on and goes and sees a post that he says, "My GOAT," and of course it's Leo Messi. On the day that Argentina wins the World Cup, since then that post itself ended up gaining new life in Argentina as it became viral basically throughout all of Argentina after it was seen on television. Of course, we see the referees. It'll be a Uruguayan crew. Gustavo Tejada will be leading the way. He'll be accompanied by Carlos Barreiro and Richard Trinidad. Cristian Ferreira will be the 4th referee. So we're almost ready to go here in Santiago del Estero, Peter. Now, one thing to say, okay, yeah, it's all celebration. It's all taking in and being in an instance where you can have communion with your fans, but it's also a position where you start to also profile yourself for the upcoming qualifiers as well.
So we're just seeing the Curacao lineup there on the screen now. As he already went through, Rumingol, Gary, Martina, Panaima, Florines, Anita, and two Bakunas making the midfield, and the front three of Kuas, Kanga, and Gore.
And a lot of these players for Curacao, many of them have been veterans of many battles dating back to 2017 and 2019, when they really had a very important run in the Gold Cup. Came very close to getting into World Cup qualifying, or deep into World Cup qualifying. Mind you, many of these players play domestically, but a good portion of them play in the Netherlands and have played in the Netherlands. Eloy Rom, for example, played for a brief stint over at the Columbus Crew in the United States, as we are underway here at the Madre de Ciudades, Argentina, in their traditional albiceleste. Curacao in their alternate navy blue. Of course, it's Otamendi alongside Pezzella. Cuti Romero on the bench as Enzo Fernández begins to take control in the middle of the pitch. Again, it's Pezzella. Dropping back a little bit more as Alexis McAllister. Argentina one more time, as they tend to do from the get-go, looking to control possession. And it's now Huevo Acuña. Marcos back to none other than Alexis McAllister. Celso also getting into the fray. Lautaro Martínez, Nico González will be very interesting to look at as well.
It's a big night.
Speaking of which, González down the left side. Good.
Big night for González and Lo Celso, who had been really important players for Lionel Scaloni in the years leading up to the World Cup. Would have undoubtedly been in Qatar were it not for injury. So it's nice for them to be back part of the squad for these two friendlies and at least get their moment to celebrate.
Who was it? I think it was Rodrigo de Paul that also said that for him it was extremely heartbreaking when he found out that Gio Lo Celso was injured and couldn't be part of the World Cup, because he knew exactly what he meant. And Argentina knew what Lo Celso meant to their aspirations, although there were many others that decided to step up. Dibu Martínez coming out of his box, just clearing it out, no problem for him.
Those sliding door moments, though, really, or it certainly could be perceived that way. Lo Celso was looked to be a lock in that midfield three for Scaloni going into that World Cup, and
absolutely
after that defeat to Saudi Arabia and obviously the changes that had to take place to the squad in the first place, suddenly we end up with the midfield that, more or less the midfield that we see here. Enzo Fernández and McAllister, the two real beneficiaries.
Messi with the ball down the right side. Messi, if he gets past the defender, it could be 1-0, and Lautaro Martínez started cheering and unbelievably missed a wide open net. Nico González couldn't get there on time. A perfectly placed ball by Messi. And unbelievable what's missed by Lautaro Martínez. He's completely on.
Well, it's a staggering miss from Lautaro Martínez, who could really do with a goal in national team colours. Another figure who has been so important to Lionel Scaloni. We look at the goals that he scored throughout Scaloni's reign in charge of the national team, and yet it kind of eluded him at the World Cup. His form, he went, Julian Alvarez took his spot. A lot of people then were sort of still questioning Lautaro, even though Argentina had lifted the World Cup. So I feel as though this could be an opportunity for him just to put that behind him, join in with the celebrations and get himself a goal, but he won't get a better chance than that all night.
No, absolutely not. And keep in mind, he then confessed that he was suffering from ankle issues throughout the World Cup, thus kind of limiting his productivity. Van Eyma. Divided ball that's won by Argentina, but finally recovered by Vernan Anita. Anita once more controlling in the middle of the pitch. Going to Cuco Martina. Yurin Gadi. Curacao looking to try and maintain and, I guess, proverbially defend with the ball at their feet. The ball is taken away, and Argentina pressuring on Curacao's side of the pitch. Martínez deciding to go back to the veteran Eloy Rom. Of course, he blasted out of bounds amidst the pressure that was being exerted upon him. And Argentina will get it right back. This time it'll be Marcos Acuña. Nicolás Otamendi. Back to Pezzella. Opening up down the far side is Gonzalo Montiel. Dropping back Enzo Fernández. Messi up top. Lautaro Martínez also waiting. Of course, now you see everybody gravitating a little bit more towards the Argentina number 10. Celso. Pezzella back to Otamendi. Argentina just circulating the ball around, trying to find the space where they can attack. Back to Huevo. Otamendi. Dropping back a little bit more is Celso. Same thing with Gonzalo Montiel as the play goes in that direction. Pezzella. Enzo. Dropping back a little bit more, Alexis McAllister. But Argentina losing possession of the ball. Keep in mind, this is a completely different side with a completely different style of play, Curacao, compared to what they're facing against Panama. The level of competition ratchets up a little bit more. And you say, well, it's a team that hasn't won in an important stretch of time. But yes, this is Curacao's first team compared to Panama's second/third.
Yeah, and we even saw against Panama's B team on Thursday, when they just sat back in numbers, as they did, Argentina had a tough time breaking through. Had to wait until very late on for that Thiago Almada goal to give them the breakthrough. And then, of course, Messi adding that second with the free kick. But they really struggled, particularly from open play, to create clear chances. Certainly as chances as clear as the one we've already seen tonight.
Swooping in to take that ball away. Otamendi. Acuña does have Nico González tracking down that near side. Enzo Fernández. Celso as well as McAllister in the middle decides to go in the direction of Montiel, dropping back Messi, having the first time it back. Messi. Enzo Fernández. As we're still kind of gathering ourselves here at the Madre de Ciudades, although there's no sense of intimidation as far as Curacao. They've been able to play relatively well so far. Watch out over on the far side of the ball that goes through, trying to knife it through as Lionel Messi was making his run down the middle. Recovered, and it'll be Floranos that plays it into the middle to Vernonanita. Franco Vicentini.
Celso trying to find Messi there. That was a combination that really looked so promising under Scaloni before, of course, the injury to Celso. One of those players that seem to have that kind of relationship with Messi that, of course, been lacking for so long in Messi's international career.
Seven minutes in, and we've already had I don't know, what can I call it, a whiff. I guess I'll make just a whiff, a miss of epic proportions by Lautaro Martínez. Now trying to dig in a little bit more. Almost getting there was Leandro Bacuna. Curacao now pressing in the middle with Vernonanita. First timing it in, coming in rather aggressively was Pezzella, laying it off. It's Brandy Kawas. Yuri Gatti. Gatti once more. The referee lets play continue. Cuco Martina, the veteran. Of course, today ends up being his 60th cap with Curacao. We'll have to go all the way back because Brandy Kawas was still on the ground. Of course, he takes the worst end of that. Will Acuña ends up right there, flipping his heel. Rather painful if you would consider it.
I think Cuas would have rather the free kick in that situation and a chance to get it into the box rather than just keep possession and having to go all the way back in the end to the goalkeeper. But even in these opening 8 minutes, where Argentina dominated possession, and when they're in possession, Curacao are happy for them to have it until they get into the Curacao half. What we saw there when they are on the ball, the visitors, is a lot more ambition than we saw from Panama, and a lot more players committing to the attack.
I'll tell you how Curacao and Argentina seem to be linked together hand in hand. Mentioned in a little bit as Argentina now with a free kick opportunity from far away. We'll try and continue playing it on the ground as they tend to do. Otamendi, Huevo Acuña, having to drop it back to the Benfica central defender. Germán Pezzella. Enzo Fernández dropping back. Allister. Messi. Good pass to Nico González, laying it out for Leo Messi. Hello, room. Able to parry that ball wide. After it was deflected, it'll be the first corner kick of the match. It'll favor the Albiceleste.
Argentina suddenly just inject a bit of pace into that spell of possession. Messi with a little give and go from Nico González. The shot takes deflection. It's comfortable enough for Room, but he makes absolutely certain two big hands to push it behind for a corner.
And Messi, nobody on the far post. It'll go astray, and Curacao fending off another Argentine attack. I mean, you see that bench, you're like, oh my God. The names from the past were Scaloni, Walter Samuel, Raton Ayala, and of course Pablo Aymar, Van Eyman, Gatti. Recovered in the middle, good work there. Those Juninho Bacuna. He's dropped back up top, all by himself is Angelo Yanga. Angelo trying to do his best up top, and of course he'll have a very tough assignment. He's had a very tough assignment up to now.
We were talking before about that more ambitious, on the front foot approach from Curacao when they're in possession. I think will open up opportunities, as it already has for Argentina, because they're able to win possession. If they move the ball forward quickly, as they have for the chance for Lautaro and just a moment ago with Messi, then suddenly there are spaces or an opportunity to get immediately that back four, something which Argentina were really unable to do at all against Panama, given how deep they sat and in great numbers.
Otamendi, Acuña. Allister. Four players surrounding the Brighton man. Finally playing it out, decompressing over in the direction of Montiel. Again, it's Montiel. Has Lautaro Martínez dropping off to Messi! And a run once more. Argentina getting closer this time around. But the veteran goalkeeper slamming the door shut.
Wonderful build-up play. I think it was Celso again with that little reverse pass with his right foot to release Montiel. Montiel had a ball across, but decided to cut it back for Messi.
Messi. Right off there by Celso. Watch out with Enzo Fernández finding Messi a little bit too far. But there's one defect. He's not that tall, so you have to be pinpoint perfect. I thought actually Enzo Fernández was going to take a crack at it from that distance.
This is that chance before. Brilliantly worked into that space. And again, Messi finding a pocket of space on the edge of the box that he was unable to for a lot of the periods against Panama. And once again, room equal to that effort.
And that shot missing wide. Lautaro Martínez. Now, you're talking about his struggles with at the national team level. If you look at the goal scorers for Argentina post-World Cup, he's at the top of the list. Now, in terms of that saying a lot, it does say a lot, but it doesn't say the entire story, especially knowing how Inter have struggled so far this year. So much so that they've lost pace with Napoli in the race for the Scudetto. So much so that they also lost pace with Lazio in the race for the Scudetto. Acuña. Further back it goes to Diego Martínez. Enzo Fernández. Pezzella. Celso. Martínez in the middle. The one that, of course, was wide open or had some room was right there was Allister. Laying it off. González. Left-footed. Not the best angle for him.
No, he apologises to those queuing up in the middle. I think it was Celso was the man berating in there who arrived completely unmarked to the back post. González did have a lot of space, but the angle was against him. Decided to try and beat room at his near post. Miscued it. And again, a lot of space here for Argentina. And it's a big ask this for Anita, the former Newcastle man, at the base of that Curacao midfield, because he's having to try and watch where Messi's drifting to in behind Lautaro, but at the same time you've got McAllister dropping into that place, you've got Celso picking the ball up, and there's an awful lot on the plate of Anita to know exactly who he should be trying to stop there.
How many things does he? How many things does he exactly have in his plate? Well, you kind of mentioned half of them. Patty. Poked away by Acuña, getting there just a little bit of time was Otamendi, trying to triangulate their way out, but finally it's recovered. It'll be Curacao controlling proceedings. As I said, it's a completely different style of football. Obviously a more cohesive unit compared to what Panama had. Trying to grab players here and there and everywhere to be able to field the side. Of course, their top side was participating in the CONCACAF Nations League, as was Curacao. They lost at home at Willemstad just the other day against Canada.
A risk taken there by Martino, who was busy berating some teammates for not giving him a passing option there. Didn't expect the ball back from room before heading it back to his keeper.
Rome plays it out, dropping it back and doing a good job of it, Curacao, as of right now. So Fernández. And turning around very well was Genji Goré. Maintain that ball in the field of play, but then that ends up being a different story, as you see many that are a part of Argentina's bench.
Very much that next generation that we talked about before kickoff there as well.
Yes, sir.
The expectation to the likes of Facundo Buonanotte.
It'll be too far for Nico González. So far, maybe a little bit more than we saw against Panama in terms of opportunities created at this stage of the match compared to the match the other day.
Yeah, absolutely. Argentina will feel they should certainly be in front here. And that's not to say that Curacao are not a better team. I think they look more adept than that Panama side, but that in turn does leave them a little bit more open, and at the moment, through 18 minutes, Argentina have been able to find those spaces at the back.
There's another one earning his 30th cap. Curaçao's right back. Giovani. He plays in the Dutch league. He plays in the Eredivisie over at Valvik. So it's a team where maybe some of the players aren't celebrity household names at the international level, but yet they have been playing competitive football. There's Gonzalo Montiel on the ground, and he's complaining.
Yeah, I mean,
Does he get scraped a bit?
He does get caught there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No intention there at all, but certainly does just get caught on his ankle or his shin. And just to go back to that point you're making, Juan, I think that's where you see the distinct difference in quality between this team and Thursday's Panama side, who were largely still based at home, whereas this is a side, as you say, playing in Europe, in maybe the Netherlands, or with significant experience.
Messi getting past two defenders. Leo with the left foot, looking to open things up down the near side. Allister trying to microscopically sneak that ball in. Ball again won. Trying to slot it through. Messi! Coach checking. Messi! That's 100 for him at the national team level. Is he on? Yes, he is. Is it in the back of the net? Check as well. 1-0 Argentina.
Well, so many of those 100 coming from that sweet left foot of his, and this one with the right of Lionel Messi just gets trapped under his feet for a moment, but he's able to get away from Martínez, and then with that weaker foot finds the bottom corner to give Argentina their deserved breakthrough and give the man of the hour, the man of the moment, a historic moment for his international career. 100 goals for Argentina.
Third player in history to get to 100 goals. Yeah, I think that ball's going to be kept somewhere in that already vast museum that he was talking about. 174 caps, 100 goals for Lionel Andres Messi Cucitini. He joins Cristiano Ronaldo, he joins Allister as the only players to have scored 100 goals at the international level. So 1-0 for Argentina. Will he get more? That's the question. He still has 9 more matches to play. Nico González, Lautaro Martínez, Nico! Rome with another sensational save.
Well, he's being kept busy, isn't he? The veteran keeper. That's another smart stop. Lautaro Martínez's shot initially is blocked, but look at the space again inside the 18-yard box. At the moment, Curacao just not getting tight enough. And they're really asking for trouble. 1-0 down, it could get a lot worse for them here.
That's part of it. Either you drop back and defend and with the knife between your teeth, again, the ball gets cleared away, we'll do it all over again. Or you play the way you do, and then you get exploited in the spaces that you do leave. Pick your poison, sir. It'll be Celso one more time. Gio. The header off the line. Argentina double their lead. Nico González.
Well, have the floodgates just open. 2 in quick succession. It's Nico González who gets there above room to head in. And then we said before, an important night for González, having missed out on the World Cup through injury. And now he truly gets to mark tonight with a celebratory goal. It's another poor goal to give away defensively, cleared off the line by Fernández, but he shouldn't be beating the goalkeeper to that second ball.
Yeah, Rome, despite all the sensational saves he made, that charge to that ball, he should have ran over Nico González. But ended up hesitating quite a bit. 4th goal for Nico González with the Albiceleste. And it's 2-0 already. like we said before, Peter, either you drop back and hold on. That ball ends up being served inside. Looking to drop it down was Younger. The shot from way outside. That was Anita. Actually, check that. That was Juninho Bacuna who decided to take that ball from far away. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that they will, that one of the qualifying, or one of the qualifiers for Copa America next year, from the CONCACAF side at least, will be how teams do in the Nations League. So we obviously the usual suspects in CONCACAF, the U.S. and Mexico. And then, of course, the second tier, which is pretty much teams like Costa Rica, Honduras. You could probably add Panama into that list as well. El Salvador. They'll all be vying for an opportunity. Maybe not. Maybe I'm kind of mean there because I didn't add Canada to that top tier, and I should have added them, which would have been mostly the most fair thing to say. But then, of course, those three teams and then everybody else, seeing who is going to come in as well. Maybe the possibility of a Haiti, maybe a possibility of a Jamaica. That'll be an interesting challenge. And kind of a bit of blood in the eye for Argentina after how that Copa America ended, what is it now, 7 years ago? Almost 7 years ago. Argentina just knocking the ball around in their own half of the pitch, being able to play it to Enzo Fernández. Now Messi clearing it out. Nico González all alone. Huevo Acuña running beside him. González. Otamendi. Back to Pezzella. And now you start hearing the oles here and there and everywhere. Messi. Lautaro Martínez going in the direction. Also, the one that ends up taking up the spots for both Lautaro Martínez and Messi was Allister. Now it's González. Nico, it'll be another corner kick for Argentina.
González on this occasion staying out wide. Acuña there is the left back, looking to make so many of those forward runs and provide so much of the width. It does give a real license to Nico González to tuck inside, get a little bit closer to Lautaro Martínez and provide a secondary goal threat through the middle for Argentina.
This time it'll be Messi with the outswinger. Having it close, but recovered by Celso. As we continue to progress in this first half, Argentina with a 2-0 lead. Alongside Peter Coates, I'm Juan Arango. It's a pleasure to be with you here in this FIFA International Friendly. Otamendi. Celso as he plays it to Huevo Acuña. Celso, Enzo Fernández. Advancing a little bit more is Germán Pezzella. Messi sends it to Nico González again, a square ball back inside, all alone for Messi. Can he get two? Messi runs through Messi. Messi still going through Messi, dribbling around Lautaro Martínez. Eloy Rom. What is it? What now? Five saves for Eloy Rom.
Yeah, it's getting up there, isn't it? At 28 minutes in the clock, 2 goals already in. Making great reading for Curacao, and that was another glorious opportunity for Argentina. In the end, Messi probably guilty of taking a few too many touches before eventually finding Lautaro Martínez, but even then, make the argument that maybe Lautaro Martínez should do a little better with that finish.
Curacao, after the first goal, it's kind of a shot to the chin. The second one was a shot to the liver. They have not been able to recover their previous form. Messi. Lautaro Martínez lays it off for Leo. Leo again, if he finds another space, it could be 3. It could be his second in his own personal account if he was able to get through, but that was not the case. Acuña. Acuña. Even better. Nico González. Watch out over on the far side. A chance to shot that just ends up being drifted way too much by Celso.
It's been a really good start though from Celso. He's making up for lost time in this opening half an hour. But that passage of play right there speaks volumes of how open Curacao are. Just about to give praise to Juninho Acuña for getting back there and helping out the side, dispossessing Messi as he broke through. But as they played the ball forward and lost it immediately, there was no one left in the midfield. Anita, both Acuñas were out of position, and in the space of one pass, Argentina were 4v4.
Cuco Martina. One again. Enzo. Pezzella. Gonzalo Montiel. Messi was already making his run towards the opposing goal. Kenji Gorre. Looking to settle things down. Acuña ends up going down, and referee Gustavo Tejada making the call. It's Cuco Martina. There's controlling proceedings, former Everton man. Ball a little bit too far for Juninho Acuña. And Diego Martínez, who's been basically ball boy / spectator up to now. So far, it's been easy. I mean, as soon as Argentina started picking up the spaces that you mentioned earlier, the game just kind of ended up floating in their direction and ended up just favoring them in such an overwhelming fashion. Gonzalo Montiel. Laying it up for Leo Messi. Again, cutting back towards the middle. Messi has that ball poked away. Chasing, and finally it'll be Rome that recovers it, prevents it from going out of bounds. Won by Alexis McAllister. González. Back to McAllister, who lays it off to Enzo Fernández. McAllister. González. Acuña making a run down the near side. Nico. Messi. Oh. Goal! Messi times 2. Argentina 3. Curacao 0.
100 becomes 101 very quickly, and you wouldn't bet on that ending there. Lionel Messi, this time on his left foot, again afforded way too much space as Nico González drives forward. No one tight enough there, and Messi, a couple of touches, and still no challenge as he gets that shot off. This time, Eloy Room can do absolutely nothing but just watch that go inside that far corner. All too easy for Argentina, 3-0.
800 became 801, and 801 became 802.
Well, this perhaps not the biggest of tests, and we may well see Messi add to that tally, but something to say for his form for Argentina over the last year or so. Only one game, that game against Poland in the World Cup, he didn't manage to score in. Something like the last 12 or 13 games, other than that one, he has managed to score. 4 coming into tonight. Scored 18.
Nico González, watch out with his
12.
through ball. Sorry, Messi looking for the hat-trick. Leo has to step back. Enzo Fernández, golazo! Goal! Enzo Fernández. 4-0 for Argentina.
Is it too soon to start saying this is getting very, very ugly for Curacao? Again, it's so easy. Messi draws players to him, lays it off, and Enzo Fernández from just outside the box. We know the quality he has on that right foot. He's able to find his spot. Again, room just watching as it goes inside that corner, making it 4-0. Enzo Fernández getting his second goal for the national team since, of course, that beautiful strike against Mexico at the World Cup.
And who set that one up for him too? Lionel Messi. He was actually talking about that the other day in an interview. He talked about what, you know, how remember when Julian Alvarez was talking about the Croatia match and how that assist came to be? Well, Enzo Fernández had his own conversation about the goal that he ends up scoring against Mexico. Messi pressuring. Coming out again is Roshan Vaneima. He was saying, Leo told me, come here, play. And as soon as he got the ball, he had a man be one-on-one. He decides to hook towards the middle, had the space, and of course ends up being Memo Ochoa for the second goal that ends up basically freezing, killing off that match against Mexico. Dibu got in just a little bit too late, but no harm done. It'll be a corner kick for Curacao. Near the top of the 6, cleared away by Lautaro Martínez. Messi waiting for that ball to come to him. Finally it goes through. Messi looking for a hat-trick. Leo, Messi, goal! Goal! Leo Messi times 3. He's got the hat-trick. Will you want more? I don't know. But right now, it's 5-0 Argentina.
And it's the 50th hat-trick of Lionel Messi's remarkable career. Lo Celso and Messi linking up again here to great effect. I talked about the relationship between those two players we were robbed of seeing at the World Cup. But here they combine. Lo Celso clipping the ball over the top, and once Messi's into that position, there's no stopping him. Calmly slots it in. Hat-trick for him. Argentina 5-0 up here and absolutely coasting.
Coasting sounds like a lot of effort, though. What is that, 102 goals for Messi with the national team now? 803rd goal now in his career. Mind you, this is not the match where he scored the most goals. Remember, he's already scored, like you said, 50th hat-trick. He also had a match where he scored 5. Remember that match against Estonia? Loranus, that developed over at Manchester City. Bacuna, that's Leandro Bacuna. Excuse me, that's Juninho Bacuna, I should say, not Leandro Bacuna. There's a free kick opportunity coming up here for Curacao. Kenji Gorre and getting fouled. As it'll be Randy Kawas. Cleared away by Acuña. Not much that was being done there by Juninho Bacuna. Messi. I guess you can use that proverbial phrase with Curacao. One thing is them going forward, another thing is them going back. Because when they have to go on defense, boy, do they leave a lot of spaces to exploit. Cuco Martina. Basically switched over to being a right back. He's switched now with Yurinhari. Now, from a career standpoint, Cuco Martina did start as a fullback. So he's going back to his previous position. Nico González. Enzo Fernández, one of the 3 goal scorers for Argentina tonight. Circulating down that far side, Lautaro Martínez. He's just trying to free himself up. Ball that ends up short. Enzo. It's interesting to look at Enzo Fernández. We'll talk about that in just a second. And his positioning on the national team compared to when during his first moments at Chelsea. Allister. Alexis. Lautaro Martínez looking for his goal. Lautaro! It'll be a corner for Argentina. That'll be the 6th corner kick of the match for the Albiceleste. As we get into the final 5 minutes of this first half. You start looking at who you can sub for the second half, especially if you're Argentina. Maybe get a look at Franco Armani. Maybe get a look at Jerónimo Rulli. Lisandro Martínez, Nico Tagliafico, Juan Foyt, Guti Romero, Ezequiel Palacios, De Paul, Guido Rodríguez, Leandro Paredes, Ángel Correa, Ángel Di María, Julián Álvarez, Gio Simeone. I'd like to see him get some minutes. Player that also was so close to getting into that World Cup side, but it was going to be very difficult for him to surpass Lautaro Martínez and Julián Álvarez. And finally, Paulo Dybala would be another player that would be interesting to get some minutes as well. Martínez. Messi all alone down the near side. Argentina continuing to circulate the ball here and there and everywhere. Over on that side, Enzo Fernández, Lautaro Martínez, digging in, looking for some open space. Allister gets it blocked. Allister, does he end up winning it? Finally cleared away there by Cuco Martina. Bacuna. Of course, he's not able to do everything by himself. And Peter, you were the one that was also talking about what Leandro Bacuna had to do, all the responsibilities and so much that he had on his plate. That ankle.
Yeah, well, I think that's been the position that's stemmed a lot of the problems for Curacao. We talk a lot about how good Argentina's midfield have been pre-World Cup, certainly during the World Cup with the changes. They've carried that here, but one of the things they do really well is how fluid they are in their positions. No one really stays still, no one sits. Enzo Fernández is the guy deepest in this midfield 3 here today, but I think you were just alluding to it a few moments ago in terms of where we see Enzo Fernández positionally as a midfielder, someone who can really do everything in that central midfield. The higher up the pitch you put him, the more dangerous he becomes. And then when you factor in McAllister and Lo Celso, the same can almost be said of those two as well. they can go deep, they can sit there, they can pick the ball up off the centre-backs, but they can also break those lines, get forward onto the edge of the opposition box and start pulling the strings. So if you're not really switched on, if you're not really disciplined defensively, that can really lead to getting overrun, and that's exactly what's happened to Curacao here tonight.
And between that and the humidity, it's taking a toll on them. Acuña ends up getting his right ankle caught underneath Gonzalo Montiel. And you know what? The point that you just mentioned about Enzo Fernández, that's something that Graham Potter ended up figuring out recently. And ever since he made that change, you saw a more effective and more dangerous Enzo Fernández at Chelsea compared to his first few times where it wasn't that he was ineffective. It was just that he ended up being much more dangerous in front of the opposing goal. As that would be the end of this first half, as per Gustavo Tejada. An exhibition, a festival, and of course a goal-scoring spree that has been put on display by Argentina and Leo Messi. And of course you see some of the Curacao players now beginning to woo Messi, saying, hey, by the way, could I get your jersey? Could I do this? Could I do that? Keep in mind, Curacao had already requested over 28 Leo Messi jerseys coming into Argentina. But what they're getting instead are 3 goals by the PSG man. Well, it's halftime here. Peter, what's your analysis of what we've seen so far? I mean, there's very little to look at other than the usual that we've talked about Argentina time and time again.
Well, I mean, worrying thing for Curacao is 5, but it could probably be double that when you look at the number of chances. And they got off to just the worst possible start, didn't they? They got a huge let-off within a couple of minutes with Lautaro Martínez with an absolutely staggering miss that has been forgotten given the fact that we've seen 5 goals. But it set the tone, didn't it? Because a couple of minutes in, they were cut wide open, spaces left, right and centre for Argentina to exploit. And they simply didn't learn from that. Throughout the first... half-time.
As the second half begins here in the Madre de Ciudades, Argentina with a 5-0 lead. As the second half, of course, amidst all the madness, all the chaos, Peter, and then, of course, don't try and understand it. That's just the way it is.
No, absolutely. We're still waiting just for the half-time music to finish.
Hey, but you know...
We're back underway.
Yeah, exactly. They just kept going, but it's okay. Actually, you know what? Kind of a different little vibe that you have, especially with the music in the background. The referee, Gustavo Tejada, is like, okay, what do I do? He says, well, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to stick by the book and start the second half, which he did. Argentina up 5-0, and you can, like I said, don't try and understand it. That's just the way things are. As of right now, no substitutions. Nothing being confirmed as of yet for either side, as a matter of fact. As Curacao and Argentina come out with the same 22 that went into halftime just moments ago. Recovering that ball, Gonzalo Montiel. Allister. Alexis. González, as he gets bumped off the ball, but continues with the play. It goes to Allister. Oh, Peter, I don't know. Who's going to take that ball?
That's a big question, isn't it? Well, we saw Panama make the mistake of giving Lionel Messi almost a record amount of opportunities from free kicks. Hit the woodwork twice, one of those leading to the opening goal before he eventually found the net himself directly from this kind of position. And for the first time tonight, having already bagged a hat-trick, Messi gets another shot.
The chance to get yet another opportunity for a 4th goal in the match. Looking for the poker here, Leo Messi. Yeah, I was being rhetorical with that question, as a matter of fact, just in case you had a doubt. Rarely will you ever say that a player has better odds of hitting the post than to hit it over. But then again, that's just the player that we're dealing with right now. It'll be Messi, looking for his 4th goal. Messi! Oh, I guess I did end up jinxing him.
Over the crossbar this time. Rare off-target effort from Lionel Messi. Perhaps just a shade too close to the edge. Couldn't keep that one down, and we're already going to see some changes, and it's going to be one of the fan favourites, Juaning Rodrigo de Paul.
It'll be Rodrigo de Paul coming on. Most likely for Gio Lo Celso. Also, well, there's 3 substitutions coming on. We'll give you those others in just a moment. Messi gets the ball from Montiel. Continuing McAllister. McAllister with some room, leaving it for Nico González. And Montiel ever so close to getting his goal.
Yeah, in the end, González opting to lift that cross, I think, makes it all the more difficult for anyone to get a touch there. We'll see that triple change coming up in just a moment. But Rodrigo de Paul, we see there pictured, one of those to come in. Even against Panama, De Paul was the man bossing that midfield, dominating possession, finding the passes. And now we're going to see at least the lion's share of this second half once again, as he comes in to replace Alexis McAllister in that midfield 3.
We talked about Enzo Fernández. We talked about De Paul. We didn't talk about McAllister because McAllister also was very key when levels of play ended up going down. Ezequiel Palacios and Juan Foyt also coming on. So Enzo Fernández comes off. And
Otamendi comes out for Juan Foyt, who often, especially for Argentina and for the Real as well, playing at right back, but we'll get an opportunity here in the centre of defence.
Now, by trade, he is a central defender. It's just that he ended up being switched at right back, and of course, a couple of those experiments ended up working. Now, the one that did that switch was Lionel Scaloni. Remember the Copa America in 2019? He decides to put Foyt at right back.
Well, one of those moves that I think, again, a lot of people would have raised eyebrows, particularly when you consider it that Copa America going up directly against Neymar for Brazil. A lot of people looked at that matchup and thought, he's going to have Foyt on toast, but he was excellent, and he's always done a very good job for Argentina at right back.
Yes. So 3 substitutions made. Of course, right there you heard the ovation for Rodrigo de Paul, former Racing player. It's recovered by Curacao. Randy Cuas. As it goes out of bounds, it'll continue being possession for Curacao. As I said, it's been topsy-turvy for Curacao over the past few years. If there was a team that was affected by the pandemic, it was them. Why do I say that? Because there was a moment where they were looking to take that leap in quality. And mind you, this is after Franco ends up taking over Curacao. They end up having successful Gold Cups. But, of course, the FA wanted a little bit more, and they had the opportunity of hiring Gus Hiddink. So what did they do? They hired Gus Hiddink. They basically had told him, hey, look, you can either stay as one of Hiddink's assistants to give him a better idea of how the national team, of how basically Curacao football and the players in Curacao, whether they play domestically or abroad, end up kind of comporting, end up working, and kind of get a better vibe. He said no, thank you very much, and he ends up leaving as coach of Curacao. Then the pandemic hits. Gus Hiddink doesn't have a lot of success of being able to go to Curacao and do the scouting and doing the proper work. He eventually leaves. Patrick Kluivert comes in once again. Of course, he didn't have too much success in his second go around with the Caribbean side. Free kick coming up here for Curacao. It's Leandro Bacuna. He's just waiting. Goes right off the wall, courtesy of Branly Cuas. Eloy Rom. Speaking of coaching changes, interesting to hear that Ibarra is out at Boca. Messi. I'll just leave that one bouncing there for you to kind of hit with the outside of your right foot, Peter.
Yeah, I don't think too much of a surprise within Argentine football to hear that news just before kickoff, given the struggles of Boca Juniors this season.
It is, wait, there is one thing that's funny about it, because the person that confirmed it just a couple of days ago said it wasn't going to happen, which was Chicho Serna. He was being interviewed, what was it, on Saturday? Said, no, he's there. I think he's able to do it. Oh, nice nutmeg there. There's Lo Celso being able to get past two defenders. Lautaro Martínez, if he cuts inside, it could be 6. Lautaro! Wrong. Once again, slamming the door shut.
And once again, absolutely brilliant from Lo Celso. Gets away from his man with a delicious nutmeg. And everyone's expecting him just to open up the play down that left-hand side, and he reverses it into the space for Lautaro Martínez.
Messi. De Paul. So keep in mind that, of course, there's a lot of movement on the Curacao bench as well. Messi wanted to let that ball go through, but Cuco Martino, the very experienced central defender, he's played as right central defender, left central defender, right back so far tonight alone. Breaking through, Branly Cuas going up against Germán Pezzella. Finally goes out of bounds, ran out of room there. Dibu Martínez. Very tight bit of space, brought down very well. Messi waiting for the ball. Also, Lo Celso getting into the area. Lautaro! And Rome once again. That's what, 7 saves for the Curacao goalkeeper.
How many times has he denied Lautaro Martínez? This was the best moment for Lautaro. He was snatching a couple earlier tonight, but this time brilliant to keep the ball in play and then driving there forward towards the edge. Desperate for a goal, the Interman.
Messi trying to curl it through. And it was funny because you were hearing from the stand saying, Messi, make it, score an Olímpico. As of right now, Eloy Rom being credited with 5 saves, 11 total shots on target. Actually 6, I should say. Has 2 substitutions coming on for Curacao. Vichaino. See how this play develops. Vichaino Sikovic getting ready to come on. Jeremy Antonis ends up also being one of the options coming off the bench for Remco Vicentini. Ezequiel Palacios, as he gets that touch, finally ends up circulating all the way to Gonzalo Montiel. He was already complaining of the calf, now favoring his right arm. Come on. Will come off. And then Kenji Gore will also come off as well.
after a brightish start in those opening couple of minutes where Curacao were getting forward in numbers. Looked as though Correa and Kanga might be able to have some influence on the game. It's been a very disappointing close to an hour for the pair of them, just unable to really get involved in any attacking sense, unable to really help out the side defensively as well. Not in their place, Ivkovic and Antonise. See if they can have any more joy.
Dibu. Cuco Martina was the one that was tracking over on the far side, and it was eventually, you see Foyt getting into the bit of action. Foyt again recovering that ball. And I point that out because Cuco Martina, like I said before, he was playing at right back, he was playing as a center back. You see him right there in the middle of the screen covering Lautaro Martínez. So he's been roaming all over the place over the past few minutes, just kind of nodding that ball, nudging it over towards Messi. Rum. Florenus. Again, coming up short. Here's a chance for Messi. Does he get there first? No. It ends up being Roshan Vanima that slides in just in the nick of time. Florenus. Antonise, who loses it. Ezequiel Palacios, Juan Foyt, Montiel, Palacios. Is there a foul? Yes, the referee finally takes a little bit of time, but he does call it there. In the end, it'll end up being a free kick. There's the man that was being honored amongst many that were. Chiqui Tapia, the president of the Argentine FA. Keep in mind that this year is an election year in Argentina, not just country-wise, but also within the FA. Odds are that Chiqui Tapia will be re-elected, especially with everything he's been able to do.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Knowing, I mean, you have to remember, Peter. Sorry, go ahead.
Difficult when you've won the trophies Argentina have done over the last couple of years to think of changing things up at the AFA. And even though maybe you could have questions from a club perspective in Argentina, there'll be nothing but success for the national team, which I think is ultimately going to be how they will review Chiqui Tapia.
Also keep in mind that Chiqui Tapia and the Argentine FA is again losing the ball, trying to create a good opportunity here. It was Antonise who has to play that ball back into the middle. Antonise getting it on the return, giving good circulation to Florenus. Chiqui Tapia also confirmed that there's a shot just way misdirected by Sherelle Florenus. That in the event that the Under-20 World Cup is not played in Indonesia, of course, all the issues that are going on there, does he end up coming on? I digress. If that Under-20 World Cup that's supposed to be played in a couple of months in Indonesia is not played, hey, Argentina, we can do it. Now, that ends up being a bit of a complication because many of the venues in which the Under-20 World Cup would be played would mean that the stadiums would have to be pretty much made unavailable for club teams, and you're playing in the middle of club season. And here's a very important free kick coming up. As Juninho Bacuna ends up going down just a couple of meters outside of the area. We'll see if Dibu Martínez ends up getting called into action.
Well, he may well do. It's the best chance in the game for Curacao. Bacuna driving there onto the edge. Pezzella with just a little bit of a reckless challenge. Sort of challenge maybe someone makes it 5-0 up.
Both Bacunas behind the ball. Leandro took it first. Juninho now takes another takes it away from his brother. So who ends up getting all the Slack from practice. Who's playing Crocodile? There's a good chance from way out and way over.
Yeah.
As it was Leandro Bacuna.
Like
Knocks
Messi's
that ball way over target.
A bit like Messi's just a little while ago from right on the edge of the box. Always going to be difficult to get it over that wall and down in time. And just like Messi, Bacuna couldn't do that over the top.
I mean, who do you start looking at? I mean, you saw the players that are warming up for Argentina. You still have 3 more options to come off the bench. Do you bring in a Di Maria? Nico González, pretty much mission accomplished. Everything that you asked for him, he's been able to do, including scoring a goal. Do you need to see more?
Yeah, I think that would be the natural change, wouldn't it? If you're going to bring in Di Maria, give these supporters a chance to see one of the heroes of the World Cup. It's been a good run out for Nico González, having over an hour now, got his goal as well. A lot of players there that will be hoping to get some minutes in the last half an hour.
As we do progress through this match, quickly moving, 63 minutes into this match, in Argentina cruising to a 5-0 advantage, if you want to call it that. Lo Celso. Foyt. Palacios. He's trying to give it movement, but now you start to see more pressure in the middle as a substitution coming on for Curacao as well. We'll give you indications in just a second in terms of who and who. Juninho Bacuna. Floranus making a mad dash towards goal. And another foul. As with every passing minute, it's, oh, well, 5-0. Okay, fine. Yeah, we can relax a bit. Rodrigo de Paul committing another foul. As Bacuna goes to ground, and it'll be another free kick for Curacao.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing now. As the second half draws on, an Argentina team that have certainly dropped in intensity, and it's in that midfield where we're seeing it to Paul and Palacios, both very deep there, no longer really going to apply pressure on Curacao high up the pitch, trying to win it back and put pressure on their back line, instead allowing the visitors little spells of possession.
Bacuna, that's a go. Of course, keep in mind that him and Rangel Oyanja tied for the all-time leading goal scorer. Di Maria coming on. Di Maria will come on. He'll replace Gio Lo Celso. Lautaro Martínez will come off. He'll be replaced by Paulo Dybala. Is the Roma man coming on?
Brilliant night for Gio Lo Celso, reminding the supporters, even if he wasn't there in Qatar, of his talents. Difficult when someone scored a hat-trick, when you're in conversation about the man of the match, but for me, Lo Celso would be right up there. What he's been able to do. It's been maybe, by contrast, a bit of a frustrating night for Lautaro Martínez. From minute 1 when he missed that sitter, he's just unable to finally break that run without the goal for the national team. And he presents himself here with an opportunity for another guy who's had a difficult time for the national team, Paulo Dybala.
38th cap for Paulo Dybala. Meanwhile, for Angel Di Maria, it'll be his 131st, as he ends up getting closer and closer to the top 3. Of course, still a long ways away from Javier Zanetti, who has 145. A few years ago, it seemed almost impossible for anyone to even remotely come close to Pupi Zanetti's record, and since then, 2 players surpassed him, Javier Mascherano and, of course, Leo Messi, who way blew that mark away, as well as Mascherano's, I should say. De Paul. Sending that ball deep. It's about as deep as we've seen Argentina send a ball in quite a long time. And it's interesting to see Lo Celso leave, because now Di Maria, you would have thought it would have been Nico González, but Di Maria going back to his natural position. There was a great story that came out during this international break about Di Maria playing over on the left. In that final against France, I should say.
It's another one of those moments we have to credit Scaloni for making that switch. Bear in mind as well, before Qatar, I think a lot of people looked at Scaloni still and said, well, he's done wonders with the morale of the team and built a great spirit. But there's still questions about him tactically. We still don't quite know in a major tournament, during games, whether he can make the switches to make Argentina even more dangerous. And I think he answered so many of those critics, not just with that change. We've already talked as well about the changes in the midfield, bringing in Enzo, Fernández and McAllister, but I think he was then able to finally answer some of those critics and say, I'm not just here for morale side of things, I haven't just rebuilt that, I'm also able to adapt and play in certain different ways depending on the opponent.
And that was one of the things that when you heard, I mean, at least when you were in Qatar, you ended up seeing from many in the media really hailing Scaloni, because he even admitted, look, I made mistakes, but I was able to always backtrack and be able to correct them, knowing, okay, I made a mistake here, especially in the Saudi Arabia match, what he was able to do, and then finally right the course eventually. It wasn't something that you saw Argentina obviously losing their first match, but with every match that followed, they weren't playing great football, but with each and every match they continued to improve, which ends up being a positive. Great ball by Messi. Here's another chance. Se lo rum. That's number 7 for the 34-year-old goalkeeper. It'll be another corner kick for Argentina.
It's another clear chance as well again. Messi, it is floating around, gets that ball off Palacios, spots the run early of González in behind the fullback, and he can't quite set himself to get the shot off.
Acuña, Messi. Of course, when Di Maria's over on the right, Messi floats a little bit. Watch him floating over, trying to find that ball. The header! Wide. This time it was Nico González, or excuse me, it was Dybala that was trying to strike that ball through.
And Dybala also floating now through the middle, which is, it's always interesting when Dybala comes on, and often it is off the bench for Argentina, to see which positions he takes up. Because so often early on in his Argentina career, and he spoke about it himself, the difficulty he had playing in the same team as Lionel Messi, of wanting to drift over onto this right-hand side and take up similar kind of positions. And in the end, I think it probably cost him. I think managers then looked at him and said, well, if you're not comfortable, then maybe there's no place.
Now Curacao trying to play out. It's still in bounds. 2 substitutions coming on for the Caribbean. Giovani Truppe coming on. Sander Severina also making his appearance. Sander Severina playing for ADO Den Haag in the Netherlands. Messi. There was an entanglement. The referee wants to be as diplomatic as possible. So it's 5-0, guys. Come on.
Free kick just on the edge of the box, rather than some of the initial calls. Well, he hasn't even given that. He's given nothing in the end.
He took the more Solomonic route. He ended up saying, you know what, let me just, yeah, it's a goal kick. Guys, winning 5-0. So coming on is Giovani Truppe, as Roshan Banema ends up coming off. And I said before, Sander Severina replacing Brandy Kuwas.
The abused. Severina coming in, as you mentioned, playing his football at Den Haag, the 21-year-old. Run out here.
Meanwhile, Giovani playing over in the Bulgarian First Division. Over at Lokomotiv Plovdiv. So one more sub for Argentina, 2 more for Curacao. Messi, Di Maria, Video, pushing that ball through. Dybala wanting to force it. Dybala turning around. Dybala winning or losing that ball, but it recovered eventually by Huevo Acuña. Ezequiel Palacios, Rodrigo de Paul. Argentina just casually knocking the ball around from one end to the other. Good ball by Di Maria, just a little bit too far for Messi to get to it. Now, it's 5-0, but you end up having to say, you know what, if not for Ilya Rome, this game would be 8, maybe 9, maybe 10.
Yeah,
Easily.
When you think of not just the saves he's made, but the quality of the chances that Argentina have been able to make as well.
Yes, sir. In addition to that, pushing forward Curacao, despite being down 5-0, Cuco Martina urging his troops on. Very poor pass by Floranus. Palacios comes up short. Taken away in the middle of the pitch by Curacao, looking to get one more. Or looking to get their first one, I should say. There's Trupe. One thing we can say, at least Curaçao's tried to play football. Panama just dropped back and held on for dear life. There's Juninho Bacuna, the younger of the Bacuna brothers. As we get into the 75th minute of play here at the Madre de Ciudades. By the way, it's not going to be over yet. There'll be a lot of post-game activities going on here at the Madre de Ciudades. If I'm not mistaken, the delegation's going to fly back to Buenos Aires tonight. And of course, everyone will be cleared, and they'll end up going back to their respective teams as early as tomorrow morning. Oh, a big mistake there by Foyt, but recovered just in time. Montiel getting past 2 defenders, looking to get past the third. Alato's moving in the middle and completely all by himself. Yeah, that man. Messi has 4 options, looking to run through. Messi back out wide, stays a little bit short for the option down the left side. Di Maria. Dybala back out wide. Messi knocking it back and forth in very reduced space. Looking for Di Maria. Has a man open in Rodrigo de Paul. Ends up going out of bounds.
Very, very tight in there. Messi, Dybala, all involved. Great footwork here from Dybala to find Di Maria. He does get a little pull back there by Bacuna before his shot's blocked.
Di Maria. Angel has room. It'll be a handball.
Don't want to be giving
now,
Di Maria that kind
was it
of
a penalty
space when he
or
comes
was
inside onto his left foot.
Was it a penalty inside of the area? That's what the referee's calling, or it looks like it. Let's see. Right there. The position I wasn't sure exactly. Now, it'll be Di Maria. Franco Armani is about to come on. As one of the heroes for Argentina in that match against France. Looking again at the score sheet. It'll be Di Maria. Di Maria! Angel Di Maria with his 29th goal for the Argentine national team, 6-0.
Well, normally the number 10 would be reserved for those duties, but he's already got himself a hat-trick, so it's another one of the favourites, another one of the icons from this era for Argentina. And Angel Di Maria makes no mistake, as you said before, rapidly rising up the list of most appearances, and so too the most goals. Number 29 rapidly closing in on the 6th place, Gonzalo Higuain. And once you get above then, it's a who's who really of Argentine football. Maradona, Crespo, Agüero, Batistuta, and of course Messi. Listen to that response for Dibu Martínez. One of the biggest characters in Argentine football. A remarkable, remarkable story of Dibu Martínez. And now taking his place, almost second only to Lionel Messi in terms of popularity in the national team.
And we go from the starter in 2022 to the starter in the World Cup in 2018. Well, part of that World Cup in 2018 in Franco Armani. The lone player representing the Argentine LPF, is he still with River Plate? And he too, at River, has established himself with a very impressive legacy. And then you've talked about how much longer will Armani remain at River. Been lots of speculation whether he will head back to Colombia, whether he'll retire, whether he'll go elsewhere. As another short ball, it'll be another corner as it's cleared away. Di Maria, it's cleared away. As now you start to hear the chants echoing throughout all four corners of the Madre de Ciudades here in Argentina. And two more substitutions for Curacao amongst them. That'll be Godfrey Romeratoe. And a yellow card being issued. First of the match.
There's been absolutely no need for any cards, but Rodrigo Paul's been on the pitch for a short amount of time, and suddenly out comes the yellow.
Bacuna. Now, if we start looking at Curacao players that stood out, or silver linings, if you will, amongst very dark clouds, well, you'd have to start out with that man right there, Juninho Bacuna. Well, maybe not start with him. You have to start with Eloy Rom, but he'd be amongst those that have to be considered. Messi looking for number 4. Great save by Rom as he rushed out, and the Columbus crewman has been just absolutely phenomenal as it's a yellow card. Now the yellow cards are coming out. Vernon Anita.
Yeah, Anita, the first of the Curacao players, just catching González there, just after yet another save for Eloy Rom. And when we're talking about the quality of chances, that's another one. Messi 1v1. Ordinarily, that ends up with the ball in the back of the net. And Argentina with the 7th goal. Still might from the resulting free kick.
Oh yeah, he's not out of the woods yet. It'll be Messi with some distance. That seems more like 10 meters. Messi just hung it too much.
He hasn't got quite fired in tonight from those free kicks. 2 opportunities, both occasions over the top of the crossbar this evening. Thursday seemed to be threatening the goal every single time he stood over a set play.
So coming off will be, of course, the aforementioned Vernon Anita. He will be replaced by Godfrey Romeratoy. Also coming on will be Kevin Ferita.
Final stages of the game. Curacao getting plenty to have a run out here.
So that is it for Curacao. That is it also for Argentina, as they used their final sub on Franco Armani. This would be just on the verge of one of Argentina's biggest blowouts in history. There's still 10 that are bigger than this one. Good ball that goes through, but Armani there to scoop it up. They get one more down to being amongst the top 10. Why do I say that? Because obviously this 6-0 would be, I guess, on par with a victory that that Argentina had against Colombia back in 1957. It was an 8-2 victory against Los Cafeteros back in the 1957 South American Championships, of course, later known as Copa America. Messi looking for number 4. Messi cutting back inside. Messi! Rom once more.
It's an excellent stop again. This time not a clear-cut chance, but one that Messi creates for himself, just driving forward onto that left foot, and it's another excellent stop, getting down low, full stretch to put it behind for a corner.
That's shot number 25 by Argentina. Rom has 9 saves. There's an offside being called.
The only blot really on the copybook of Rom tonight was probably that Nico González goal, where he probably should have come and been a lot stronger for that ball in the air. Otherwise, can't really criticise him for the 6 goals conceded, but you can certainly credit him.
No, absolutely not.
Certainly credit him for keeping this down below double figures.
Well, wait, maybe one. The one that Nico González scored that he wasn't able to clear out.
Yeah, that was the only one.
Outside of that, everything else. I'm sorry?
That was the one I mentioned, the only one.
Yeah. Here's another chance to make it 7. And the ball goes through. Oh! Gonzalo Montiel makes it 7. And yes, on this one, he had nothing that he could do.
And he still tried.
7-0.
Still tried to claw that one back from the goal line, but this time, Room can't keep it out, and Montiel gets his first goal, or certainly first goal from open play for Argentina. The man who scored the decisive penalty in the World Cup final against France, and all the more important goal than the one tonight, but still marking his 23rd appearance with his first goal for the national team, making it 7-0.
And now we can start talking about his story. Why? Because it's the first time since 2015 that Argentina have beaten a team by 7 goals. Now, of course, Curacao could score 1 here and everything will change. It was a 7-0 victory for Argentina against Hong Kong. De Paul, it'll be a corner. That wasn't the only one. A year before that, in October of 2014, good ball through. Di Maria, Rom once again. The rebound, of course, all invalidated as there was an offside call. In 2014, Argentina beat Bolivia 7-0 as well. And, of course, have to go back in the time machine a little bit further back. They beat Paraguay 8-1 in the 1947 South American Championships, as I said before, the Copa America. As Argentina recovering that ball again. Messi looking, just lurking inside of the area, seeing if he can get a chance. Messi trying to take it to the line, and it'll end up being a goal kick. As we're into the, we're agonizing seconds in this match. Yeah, we can say that we've been done and dusted for a while.
Lionel Messi still on the pitch, as we were questioning at half-time how long he'd be out there for. And here he is, right at the death, still trying to add more. We'll talk about the record books there from an Argentinian perspective, Juan, but the worst defeat suffered by Curacao before they were Curacao was 8-0.
Messi tried to toe poke it through. And I forgot one more. It was 8-1. Did I mention that one? The 8-1 against Paraguay? Yeah, I did. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have much more here from Santiago de Estero, as Argentina will come away with another victory. So Argentina have won, or have only lost one out of their last 45 matches. Now, is that applicable in this context? Maybe not. But it just shows you that the team's mindset. Everyone was waiting. Well, you know what? Yeah, they had, 34, 35, almost equaling Italy's mark. They were waiting for the first sign of adversity to come through. It came through. And they still were able to overcome it. And how did they overcome it? Boy, in a big way. As far as Argentina's concerned, well, they'll have to wait until the month of June. Like I said before, there's rumors of them going to Asia on an Asian tour. There's been talk about Bangladesh. There's been talk about India. There's been talk about China. Whatever other areas you want to talk about is a good ball going through. This could be the chance, trying to heel flick it over. But, of course, to no avail. As Argentina have come away with a big win. Of course, big in terms of their communion with fans. Big in terms of the score sheet. Big in terms of history. And also knowing that this is pretty much where the celebration ends, and starting in June, that's where, let's see who Messi gives the perfect choice. Yes, sir. He's the one that deserves it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's no. Yeah. Man of the match. But yes, after this, Leo Scaloni and company know exactly what is going to start happening. Their focus is solely on World Cup qualifying en route to North America 2026.
And the Scaloneta just keeps on rolling. Not the biggest test here tonight by any stretch of the imagination. It was more about the occasion, but all the same, Argentina just swept aside Curacao. 7-0 winners here. And the scoreline, which if anything flatters the visitors, that man who just came away with the Messi shirt.